And speaking of Brett Favre, y'all know I have been following this story. I don't know why. I'm not even a football fan. I don't look at football, don't know anything about it. But this man allegedly is in hot water with this welfare fraud investigation that's going on. Former NFL player, current USM Foundation board member, Adalius Thompson, was subpoenaed. And we talked before how Brett tried to recruit Deion Sanders' son for a football practice facility, seeking more funds. So subpoenas seek electronic communications over funding of the USM Volleyball Center. The Mississippi Department of Human Services greatly expanded the scope of its search for information related to Brett Favre's efforts to fund a $5 million volleyball facility at his alma mater, including seeking info from fellow NFL player Adalius Thomas. Lawyers for the state's welfare agency subpoenaed nearly 30 current and former members of the University of Southern Mississippi Athletic Foundation, USM's athletic department, and the USM's Alumni Association, according to court documents obtained by Front Office Sports. And I'm reading this article from frontofficesports.com. The subpoenas seek text messaging, app, and email communications with Favre and his associates since January of 2017. Current USM Athletic Foundation President Leigh Brill, Executive Director Stace Mercia, and Treasurer Larry Davis, and USM Athletic Department CFO Christy Holloway were among those targeted in the latest round of subpoenas. Thomas, who won Super Bowl titles with the Ravens and Patriots, was also subpoenaed. Thomas starred at USM, was inducted into the school's Legends Club in 2011, and is currently a foundation board member. The subpoenas were issued immediately after Hinds County Circuit Court Judge Ife Patterson denied the University of Southern Mississippi Athletic Foundation's motion to be dismissed as a defendant in the case. The foundation faced more than a dozen counts related to an alleged scheme where it received millions of federal temporary assistance for needy families, TANF, funds from MDHS that were funneled through a nonprofit organization. The director of MDHS at the time, John Davis, and the heads of the nonprofit, Nancy and Zach New, pleaded guilty to state and federal charges for their roles in the scheme. MDHS alleged that Favre entered into a handshake agreement to fund the volleyball facility himself before he lobbied then-Governor Phil Bryant and others to fund the construction using money from the welfare agency. Favre understood that the money came from a federal welfare program, according to a MDHS filing last year. Favre has denied any wrongdoing, and he has not been charged criminally. His daughter played the sport at the school at the time and, like the foundation, is a defendant in the case. The court finds that all claims against the foundation are sufficiently pled, except for count 6, Peterson wrote in her Friday order. And getting that one count of negligence dismissed isn't much for a win for the foundation. Negligence is an unintentional tort, Peterson wrote. Unintentional torts are those of an accidental, reckless, or careless nature that result in harm to a person. Negligence specifically requires the breach of a foreseeable duty or preventable harm. In this instance, plaintiff MDHS alleges the parties knew the true source of the funds and had a duty to inquire of the true source and to apply the funds in accordance with its intended purpose. Earlier this month, former University of Southern Mississippi president and current University of Nebraska Chancellor Rodney Bennett was served with a subpoena. Electronic communications have played a major role in the case so far, even if Favre hasn't produced many himself. In a filing last week, MDHS lawyers stated that Favre has failed to turn over text messaging app and electronic communications that were subpoenaed months earlier. Despite being identified as the sender or recipient on the face of these text messages, Favre objected and claimed he could not verify many of these text messages' authenticity, MDHS lawyers wrote. And this article has a long list of defendants that were subpoenaed. I would go over them, but maybe some other time. Maybe in my next Brett Favre story, which I don't know what that's going to be, but I'll keep you posted. It's your girl, B Sparrow, BuzzTweet Talk Radio, the no audience podcast for the scattered till he gathered the sons and daughters of the diaspora.